My name is David Landini. This presentation explains the reasons for forming a Riverina State Party. The ultimate objective is to form a Riverina State. The only political requirement for forming a Riverina State is the consent of the Parliament of New South Wales for the New South Wales section and of the Victorian Parliament for the Victorian section. This requirement is stated in section 124 of the Australian Constitution. There is no legally defined method or written process of persuading these members to consent to this formation. Practically, to gain the consent of the majority of members of the legislative assemblies and councils of these parliaments, Riverina State supporters must persuade them that the majority of people in the Riverina actually want this new state to be formed. Again, practically, a referendum of the people in the proposed area of the Riverina, not the people in the entire state, on state formation, will need to be held and won before the relevant parliaments can be expected to consent to this formation. If a referendum is held and won, the parliaments of New South Wales and Victoria will certainly consent to this formation because, due to their defined popular demand, it will become untenable for these people to remain in New South Wales and Victoria. For the parliaments of New South Wales and Victoria to consent to hold this referendum, they will first need to see significant support. While support can be claimed by petitions, the previous failures of petitions in the 1860 to 1865 and 1930 to 1939 Riverina State formation attempts indicates that while perhaps essential at some stage, by themselves, petitions will not be enough. A registered Riverina State political party will be able to stand candidates in every state and federal election, with the Riverina State name included on every voting ballot. Alongside candidates with the Liberal, Labor, Nationals and Greens parties written beside them, there will also be candidates with the Riverina State written beside their name. The first benefit of having the Riverina State and candidates written on every electoral ballot is the great advertising value. Every elector will have state formation placed in front of them, and the amount of advertising is obvious and the consequent benefit cannot be overstated. The next benefit will be for supporters in that they will be able to express their support by their vote. A following benefit is that the number of votes gained will define the amount of support for state formation. After every election, everyone in the world will be able to see that 10, 20, 30 or 40% of people in the Riverina want state formation. Credible and significant support will enable persuasive petitions and demands to the governments of New South Wales and Victoria for a referendum to be made. Of course, practically having Riverina State candidates elected to Parliament will immeasurably assist state formation. In addition, politics being politics, if other political parties and candidates can see that 10, 20, 30 or 40% of electors want state formation, due to their own desires to be elected, they will attempt to win Riverina State supporters' first, second or third preference vote by including state formation in their own campaigns and platforms. If Riverina State formation is seen as a vote winner, It is possible that every candidate standing for election will support state formation. This will practically ensure that the Riverina State is formed. First though, the Riverina State Party needs to be formed and registered with the relevant electoral commissions. To be registered in New South Wales for state elections requires at least 750 members in New South Wales, and in Victoria requires at least 500 members in Victoria. To be registered for federal elections requires at least 1,500 members. There are two types of membership. Establishment membership is free, while general membership is $200. Membership includes no liability. There are no possible adverse consequences associated with membership. A link to the membership form is displayed, and I ask you to print one off now, fill it in, and return it immediately. Riverina State formation needs definite support and requires effort, and your membership is one way for you to participate in this formation.